Okay, I think we're live.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. How's my audio?
Loud and clear.
Wonderful.
Okay, well, we're going to get started. We're actually not going to get started yet. We're going to wait a few moments, a few minutes actually, and let everyone join in. I know some people will be joining as we get started. So we will delay it just a couple of minutes while we're waiting. And if you will, maybe in the chat, let us know where you're watching from, because I know there are people watching from many different countries, different states, different cities. And maybe also let us know where you heard about Cambly from. Did you hear from a family, a friend, online, on YouTube? Just let us know in the chat. I am talking from Tennessee in the US this morning.
I heard that Tennessee had some iffy weather. How was that?
If there's people watching from the north of the US, they'll probably laugh. They make fun of us in the south. Everyone was prepared for an ice storm last night, and there was no ice storm. I went out last night at 9 o'clock to get bread and milk, because that's what we do in the chance that there would be an ice storm. And there are some frozen water droplets on the trees and the power lines, but we didn't get an ice storm. Everyone was prepared though.
It's better to be prepared either way. You have your bread and your milk.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's a thing. I've actually told my students on Cambly before, when we talk about weather, I say, well, the people in the north always make fun of the people in the south, because if there's a chance of snow, we freak out and we run to the store and get bread and milk like we're going to be stuck in our homes for days. And then the people in the north are out the next morning with their shovels and snow plows, they're prepared. So it's quite funny.
Bread and milk, so something nutritious, something that can hold you over for a while.
I suppose.
Okay.
And where are you this morning or this afternoon?
I am in Mexico. I am in the very north of the country in Tijuana. So we have really nice weather. We're spoiled here. It's sunny. I wouldn't say it's hot. It's not hot yet, but it's completely sunny. The sky is blue. It's lovely.
I'm very jealous. I think it's 0 degrees Celsius right now where I am. It actually might be in the negatives. It was -4 when I got up this morning.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have never experienced extreme cold weather. The coldest I've experienced, I believe, I did get to 0 once in a place nearby. Here, that's a higher altitude and does reach those temperatures in the cold months. But I've never seen snow in my life. Forget about seeing an icicle anywhere. I've never seen that. I have no idea what you're talking about, only in pictures and Christmas movies.
Wow. Well, yeah. I honestly don't like the winter. I prefer the warm weather. So I'm jealous of your weather today.
I'm a warm weather person myself.
Let's see. It seems like we have some people watching from Germany and the UK, Canada, Italy, the Netherlands, the US. If you're from the US, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when it comes to snow in the south versus the north. Brazil as well, and South Africa.
A very diverse crowd today.
We have an audience from all over.
Okay, welcome everybody.
I guess we'll give it just 1 or 2 more minutes just to let a few more people join in. I guess before we start, while we're waiting, we can talk about what the goal of today's live question and answer is for, if you want to go over that, Alejandra.
Sure. So the goal of today's talk is for prospective tutors to get to know the process of signing on to Cambly if you're interested. A lot of you perhaps have already began, to fill out your profile, but have not finished it yet. Other people are just interested and maybe not so sure if it's for them or not. So we are here to clarify all of your questions so you can go ahead and get started with your process.
So we will be covering the most frequently asked questions, and then later on today, we're actually going to go through the application with you. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what that looks like in the case that you haven't signed up yet. Maybe you've already signed up and you've kind of started your profile, filling out your profile, but you haven't finished yet. Either way, we're going to show you what it looks like so that it's not so intimidating.
Yeah.
So I guess we can go ahead and dive in and get started. We'll start off with introducing ourselves and telling our stories, and then we'll jump right into going over all of the questions that you may have. I'll let you start, Alejandra.
Thank you so much. Well, hello again, everybody. My name is Alejandra. I have been working on Cambly for 5+ years. I started in 2015. I have met over 300,000 students working on Cambly, and it's amazing. It's an amazing thing to meet so many people from so many different places. It has enriched my life greatly. I've learned a lot, and that's, I think, the biggest surprise when you start working here. You don't expect, to learn so much and to create these bonds with people. So it's been great. I started out because I was looking for a job I could do from home. Back then, my son was still little, not super little, but little. He still needed me, to be available, and I wanted to be close to his school just in case anything came up, and everything comes up when you have a little kid. All of you that are parents know that this is true. You never know when they're going to need you. They're going to call you from school. Hey, this happened. So I wanted to be available for that. And looking, searching on Google, I found a listing that somebody put up about work from home jobs, and Cambly was one of the opportunities. And I thought, okay, what the hell? I've never done anything like it. I've never taught anything. And I just said, let's give it a try. I filled out the form, I submitted it, and I heard back the next day. I just had to adjust my internet service because it wasn't strong enough when I applied, and they just let me know, hey, your internet could be better. So I fixed that, and I got started, I think, after 1 week. And it was scary. Sure, the first class can be daunting. You don't know what to expect. But I remember I had a really lovely Turkish lady, and she helped me along. She was so nice about it. I told her it was my first class, and she was really gracious, and it flowed smoothly. And from then on, I was hooked. I loved the experience. It was never boring, and it still isn't. It still isn't. That's another thing that I love about it. The here and now aspect of it. You are in the present with your students, helping them along with their goals. And it's an everyday sort of thing that you have to really be present for. So I don't have a dull day. And that's why I keep, coming back. That's why I love teaching here. What about you?
Yeah, so my name is Molly, if you don't already know, and I joined Cambly in 2018. And I guess up to now, I've chatted almost 100,000 minutes with students. I've met over 500 students from around the world. So not quite your level, but I'm getting there. And I decided to join. So I was actually living abroad. I was living in Ecuador, and I was working or volunteering with an organization known as the Peace Corps. And we were just provided with an allowance each month. And I had adopted a sick puppy who needed lots of extra money for her medical bills. So I was trying to pay those. And I had a friend tell me, well, you should sign up, consider this platform called Cambly. You just chat with people. You can make some extra money that way. So I think the week after that, I looked it up and I signed up. I filled out my profile and submitted it. And I don't remember how long it took. I think it was a few weeks before I heard back. And then I was activated and got started. And I don't remember my first student like you did. I have a really bad memory. I think I was, nervous maybe. And so I don't remember any of my first students, in the first few weeks. But I do remember thinking, how cool is this that, with the touch of a button, I'm just chatting with a student who wants to learn English in another part of the world. For me, it was really amazing. And I come from the background of education, so I had worked in classrooms before and never been in a virtual classroom. So it was totally new. These days, everyone's used to virtual classrooms, but back then it was still new to me. And I was just amazed at, technology and really, really enjoyed it. And I just did it part-time in the beginning. And then once I finished up my work in Ecuador, I decided to stay in Ecuador and actually made tutoring on Cambly my full-time job. So I just did it full-time throughout the week. I'm still doing it part-time. I have a different job these days, but I love it so much that I still make time to tutor on Cambly each week. So it's been really, really amazing so far.
I think that you just mentioned about having the choice of making it part-time or full-time or whatever time you have. That's one of the great things about Cambly, the flexibility of managing your own hours. What would you say are the pros and cons of, or for you, in your opinion, in your experience of working here?
Yeah, great question. Definitely number one, flexibility, like you said, being able to make my own schedule just whenever I want. If I want to take Monday and Tuesday off, I could have Monday and Tuesday off. If I'm doing that full time, tutoring on Cambly full time, being able to open up hours early in the morning or in the afternoon or even in the evening, because Cambly is connected with students all around the world, which means different time zones. And so it's just the flexibility of being able to hop on anytime and find students that are looking for a tutor to chat with, as well as the diversity. As you mentioned earlier, just learning so much, because at the touch of a button, you're connected to someone maybe in a country you don't know much about, you've never visited, you don't know anything about their culture. And so just being able to learn, I think it was advertised to me as just chatting with people, but it's more than just chatting. It's more than a conversation. You really are learning a lot. Those are the pros. What would you say are the pros for you?
Well, of course, I have to echo your thoughts. Flexibility, it's priceless. You can't really ask for more than managing your time the way that fits around your life in the best way. For me, the kids, that's my biggest thing, because kids take up a lot of your time, especially now they're not going to school. So the flexibility is even more appreciated in these days, right? I also enjoyed, finding things about myself, discovering things about myself in the process of talking to all these people. Like I said, I've never taught before, so I really didn't have any preconceived ideas about my strengths or weaknesses as a teacher, because I wasn't one. But I've discovered strengths as I've gone through all these conversations, and I have been able to focus on them, to make them stronger, to enhance what I can do well, and maybe polish what I'm not so great at. And you discover this about yourself as you go. So it's a self-discovery process, I can say. You learn about other people, you learn about yourself as well. What else is a pro? How much I've already said this, but how much you learn about the world. I'm not the most curious person, I'll admit that. I'm not the one like to Google stuff and what's going on in the world, or I'm not on Twitter all the time. No need. When you're working here, people inform you of what's going on in their country, in their city specifically, and you learn so much. You're really up to date with the goings on of the world, not just your area. I'm a very bubble person, I'm here and I'm like this, that's the way that I usually am. But it's impossible, not to stay informed when you're talking to people from all over. You learn a lot on a daily basis.
No, I would definitely say that I've learned more probably just chatting with the students on Cambly than I have, trying to read things on my own, because they teach me like what's happening in their country or the history in their country, all those things I've learned. I'm just amazed at, that's why I keep doing it. I'm like, well, I'm kind of learning. We're supposed to be the tutors, right? But really we're learning as well as we're chatting with the students.
It's a really healthy exchange. What about the cons? Has there been anything And any situations where you felt like not so great, it could be better, something that could be improved?
I don't know about improvement. I will say, as a teacher, so, I was used to just planning a lesson and attending to one classroom full of students, and then that was that. Now, of course, with Cambly, you're not expected to plan lessons. You don't even need teaching experience. But my mindset as a teacher was going into Cambly and just mentally preparing myself for the diversity of students. So you can be working with, a very advanced student who has a great level of English and just wants to chat about current events, to a student who is just beginning and maybe has very limited conversation abilities. And so just preparing myself for that diversity, because it can be challenging just managing, learning how to navigate, how to be the best tutor you can for each student. It's very different than the classroom experience. But as you said earlier, it did teach me, how to be a better teacher and just a better person, how to communicate with people the best that I can. So even though it was challenging and difficult, I would say it helped me personally grow. What about you?
I would say something similar in the sense that it helped me grow. I tend to be very uncomfortable around people that have very different personalities from mine. I'm not very sociable in real life at all. I'm not
Really?
a talker, really. Really. I have very few friends, I don't go out a lot. And this experience, of course, puts you together with a lot of different people. And it's been a challenge for me when the person that I'm speaking to is really serious or stoic, not very expressive. And the language also, affects, there's a language barrier to start with. So if the person isn't very expressive and they're not very cooperative, and I'm doing my best, to be peppy and get people excited about the class, and I'm not seeing the response that I'm looking for, it's frustrating. So that has helped me, because you face this a lot. You're not going to click with every single person that calls you. It has helped me be more patient, with these differences between me and the students. And I've actually come to enjoy some of these classes where the student will be a serious, quiet student, and that's okay. I can look forward to these students now. So I do feel like it's really helped me on a personal level, even in real life, because in real life, it was also a challenge to deal with people that were like that,
Yeah.
And so I feel that it's been a great asset,
Mm-hmm.
to learn to deal with all kinds of personalities. And like you said, experience levels, their English levels. But the most challenging part for me was the personality. Like I really need the back and forth. And if I don't have that, it's hard.
It's hard, yeah. And it's funny you said that. So I'm also not the most outgoing person. I'm an introvert. And I always joke with my students because I tell them, sometimes we chat about what introvert and extrovert means. And like, actually, I'm an introvert in the real world. I'm like on Cambly, I'm a different person these days. I'm very friendly and I've learned how to keep a conversation going because it's a skill, right? The skill that we develop once we have been on Cambly for a while. And they never believe me, but I'm like, oh, I'm much friendlier, I think, when I'm chatting on Cambly than outside of Cambly. But it's funny. We always joke about that.
You know how they say that you have different personalities when you speak a different language?
Oh,
This is
yeah,
something similar. Like when
that's
you
true.
speak Spanish, I speak Spanish and English. So I've been told that my personality changes with each language. And I've heard that from other people as well. This can be something similar. Your on camera personality and your off camera
That's very
personality.
true. I didn't
And
even
both
think
are real.
very true. So I know you were, mentioning how it can be difficult to navigate, like meeting new students with different personalities. What was the process like when you were meeting students? When you first started out meeting all of those new students, what was it like for you? How did you go about that?
Well, at first, because nobody knows you, you're new, you really want to make yourself available to get any students that come in, anybody that might call you. You sign up for priority hours for the same reason. So people see you online. By the way, a priority hour, for those who don't know, is an hour where you commit to be online, and Cambly sends you students directly, so they can be, they can chat right away. So through those priority hours, I met more and more students, different, they different levels, different English levels, different personalities from different countries. And I really tried my best. That's all you can do, try to make a good impression, try to ask the right questions to find out how you can help them and give them a pleasant experience, give them a good class, make them feel like their time has been well used. And hopefully from those first conversations, you start getting regulars. So that's how it was in the beginning. And with time, not that long, with time, I started getting people wanting to come back and talk to me. I opened a schedule for reservations, and slowly it started filling up. And it's a great feeling, when you can depend on your schedule filling up. You don't wonder there, it comes to that, at first I get one here, one there, but with time you started, you open your schedule and it fills up really quickly. And it's a wonderful feeling to know that this is you can make it your full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say definitely just keeping in mind, that's something I told myself when I was meeting all of these new students. Sometimes you chat with a student and you're the first native speaker that they've ever spoken to before. So maybe they're nervous too, and you're nervous. So just doing the best that you can. And my goal when I started was to try and get regular students. I think that's every tutor's goal, to try and build a base of regulars. And I tried to do that pretty quickly because I enjoyed getting to see the same faces every week. So like you said, it was really exciting to start seeing those same faces each week and just getting to know each other more. And one of the students that I actually met in 2018 when I started, a few months after I started, I'm still working with. We had a class last night, actually. So that just goes to show how students really do look for tutors that they can depend on, that they want to work with long term. That was in 2018, and now we're in 2021, and I'm still having classes with that same student. So
you're right. I have similar experiences with students that I have been speaking to since I started. They can be very loyal. They're always looking to continue improving. So a lot of you will have the same experience of talking to a student for years. Speaking of, students are looking for somebody they can depend on. What else do you think students are looking for when they come on Cambly?
Yeah, great question. So definitely students are looking for native English speakers, and it doesn't matter the accent, right? So Canadian accent, some students are actually planning to move to a country where they speak English. So maybe they're looking for a certain accent so that they can practice, their listening skills and communicating in that way. So a native English speaker with a variety, and on Cambly, I think that they accept a variety, or I know they accept a variety of accents, Irish, Scottish, Australian, all of the different accents that we have. And also, I know there's a minimum age requirement of 18. So you must be at least 18 years old to submit your profile on Cambly. I'm missing what am I missing?
The internet connection. They must have a strong internet connection, a dependable internet connection.
Right. So the internet connections, I have them here. So you must have a download of 10 megabits per second and an upload of 3 megabits per second. So of course you are working online with the students. So you have to have a reliable, strong internet connection so that your classes can go without any interruptions.
That's right.
So I guess, is there anything else to add to that? What else?
I think once we go into the detailed process, we'll go point by point.
So what I'm going to do now actually is share my screen, and we are going to look at the profile, filling out the profile, the sign up process with all of the viewers, so that if you haven't started yet, you can kind of see what it's like. If you have started and you're like, I have no idea what to do, we're going to go through it. Don't worry. So when you do sign up, you will create an account using an email address to create a password. If you have already signed up and you go to log in and it takes you to a screen to look for a tutor, don't worry, that's normal. So actually, when you create an account, you do create a tutor profile and a student profile. And that's really important because if activated as a tutor on Cambly, you're actually given 15 free minutes. And that allows you to go on the student side and call another tutor, kind of see how it works before you get started, and ask the tutor any questions you may have. So if you have already created an account and you're having issues logging in, it's taking you to the student side, what you're going to do is look for this circle in the top right corner. Click that circle. There's going to be a drop-down menu, and it will say switch role. And so you'll click switch role and select tutor, and that will take you over to the tutor profile instead of the student. And if you're just now signing up, the first page you're going to get to is here. So let's test your connection. Before even continuing to the next part, you have to pass the internet connection test. So if you don't pass this, it won't let you continue on with the sign-up process. So I'm just going to show you how this works. So it's going to test the video, the audio, and the packet loss. And it doesn't take long. It just, I think, takes maybe 60 seconds, and that's it. So, and you'll see this little blue bar moving. Once it gets to the end, it means that is done. And then the continue button will turn yellow and let you continue on. And if you are having connection issues, if you go to the Help Center, there is a section that can typically give you some advice on what to do. All right. So then once that's passed, it's going to let you go on to step 2, which is setting up your tutor profile. So you will just start. There are 6 sections, I believe. We'll go through each one. Alejandra and I will kind of take turns going through each of these with you. The first part is just your basic info. So you're going to upload a profile picture. Please keep in mind when uploading your profile picture to keep it professional. Follow the dress code. So our dress code is not exposing your shoulders, not wearing any hats or sunglasses, not having anyone else in the photo with you. Just a nice headshot, I think, typically works best. You will,
forward. Yeah, your eyes should be forward, not looking to the side.
Yeah,
or
no
up
side
or
profile.
down. Yes.
Exactly. Your tutoring name, I would say don't put your first and last name here. It's better just to put, I just have Molly1231. And then where you're from, your date of birth. Remember, you do have to be at least 18 years old to tutor on Cambly. And then you will go on to the next section, which is the CV. So Alejandra, I'll let you take this section and kind of go over each one.
So the first area that you have to fill out is interests. This is a great opportunity for you to click with the students because they can use a keyword search to look for a tutor that might be right for them. So here in this area, you can just talk about whatever you enjoy, whatever you do on a regular basis, what your hobbies are, or any other interests that you might want to share. Don't be stingy about it. Don't try to rush through it. Really list everything that you think would be interesting to any other person. Anything that you would normally talk about with people that you just met is something that you want to include here.
Yeah, I'm just giving an example of yeah, so try not to just put like one word, interest, talking, education, school, right? Yeah, you want to market yourself. You really want to take your time going through this, exactly what she said. So I won't take the time to fill out the other part of this. We'll just skip this part. Okay.
We're skipping just for time purposes, but you have to fill it out.
Yeah, you do. You can't leave any spaces empty. So take the time to fill that out. So languages is the next part. So of course, English should be your native language, which it already has that selected. And if you do speak another language, if you're bilingual or you're learning another language, you can add that. So here I will put, and this the students will also see. Maybe if you speak Turkish, a student from Turkey will see, oh, this tutor speaks Turkish. I want to book a class with them. So I'll put Spanish conversational. And then here it does offer accent as well, because students will have the option to select tutors based on their accent. So I am in the USA Southern, but I don't have the Southern accent, I don't think. I used to maybe, but not as Southern as some people that I've heard. So I'll just put USA. Part 4 is I'll let you go over this one if you'd like. We'll take turns.
Okay. Here you can add whatever teaching certificates you might have, if you have them. It is not necessary to come here with the teaching certificate, we're not requiring, Cambly doesn't require you to have any certification, but if you have it, this is where you would upload a photo of your certificate or any other certifications that you think are pertinent that might help you or might be of interest to potential students. It could be anything really, your teaching certificates. I don't know, for example, you can have experience teaching yoga or something, whatever, maybe it's not English, but you're certified and you want to share that might be something that interests potential students. So go ahead and add those there.
Yep. And then once that's done, this next part, who I teach. So really quickly, we'll just cover this. There is classic Cambly, which is geared towards adults, maybe teenagers up to adults, and then Cambly Kids, which is geared towards kids who are aged 4 to 12, I believe. And there is a slight difference between these. So for classic Cambly, you're paid 17 cents per talking minute or $10.20 per talking hour. And for Cambly Kids, it is 20 cents per chatting minute or $12 per chatting hour.
That's right.
Doing that math in my head. And well, once we get down to here, so there's just a toggle down here, just so you know, if you are interested in adults only, just fill this out as normal and don't do anything in the kids part down here. Just don't worry about that. Now, if you are interested in also filling out your profile for kids, if you do, if you want that, you're going to click that over and there's a separate profile. So it's kind of a separate portion that you will need to do for Cambly Kids. Did you want to add any detail about that? I'm not sure if I did
for Cambly Kids. Well, just so you know, you should be ready to record another video, a demo video of your teaching style, and also follow the directions. I think we should stress that following the directions is going to, get you far. This is the best way to get activated, to avoid mistakes in the profile photo, in the video, or in the demo video if you decide to apply for Cambly Kids. Because if there are any mistakes, you will be asked to redo that segment where the mistake is. So take the time to read through everything, and the chances that you will be brought on are higher.
Yeah. And this section right here also is actually what students will see. So this introduction, as I'm not sure if you can see it if it's too small, but it just has an example. It says, I was a doctor for 35 years and can help you practice business or medical English. I also enjoy teaching beginners as I am very patient and always speak slowly and clearly, right? So as you can see, this example is not someone who is a teacher, right? They're a doctor. And so they're just stressing that they know a lot of medical terminology, and they can also help with business English as well. So take the time and fill that out. That's like your marketing opportunity to what you want students, to choose you based on. And then you can choose your tutoring style. I chose kind and patient. But I'm best at teaching students there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I will say it doesn't really matter. You can choose one of these, but more than likely you're still going to get students of all different levels calling you. Specialties, you can choose up to 5. So there are lots of different options here. You don't have to choose 5. I'll just fill in a couple. And so remember, again, everything needs to be filled out. If I leave something empty, I'll show you what happens. So the last part is why you're here. And so please don't leave this empty. I'm not even sure if it will let you continue if you leave it empty, but why you want to teach on Cambly. Make sure to take the time. Our team of onboarders actually read through this. And so this is, treat it like a job application. What is compelling you to join Cambly? Why do you want to tutor students on Cambly?
That's right. I think you have to take all this seriously. It is a real job. So you have to take the time to fill out everything in a thoughtful way. Keeping in mind that everything you write can be found through the keyword search. So everything that you write down is an opportunity for people to find you. So really do, take a moment to fill everything out carefully.
Yeah. And as you can see, I tried to save and continue. And it says, please fix errors before saving. This is because I left something blank. So it tells me on languages I speak, I didn't put that I was native in English. And then on who I teach, because I left that box empty, I'll just throw some random letters in there for now. Okay, so now it should let me save and continue. And then it is going to bring me to the last portion of the profile, which is the video introduction. This part is very important. So there's no formal interview process, but this is your chance to, again, market yourself, let your students know what they can expect when they're going to be having a lesson with you. Be yourself. Don't read from a script. You don't want to sound like a robot or be looking off to the side or reading from a script. It's always best to be natural and spontaneous and to show off your personality. And Alejandra, I'll let you go over a couple of the requirements as well for this video introduction.
So as you can see here, it gives us a few helpful tips, and we should really follow them. Find a clean and quiet space. Your background should be tidy, and we should not be able to hear animals or other people, or if you can avoid it, cars passing by, as quiet as possible, right? That your voice is front and center, you can hear it clearly. Smile and look at the camera. A friendly face goes a long way. People are looking for friendly faces, somebody that they feel they can trust. Students really appreciate a nice smile. Dress smart. So we recommend that you look at the dress code policy. Avoid exposing your shoulders, just look neat. You don't have to look like office professional with a suit and tie. That's not necessary. But looking neat, I believe that it's the basic neatness, that people are looking for. This is really important. Speak from 1 to 3 minutes. If you submit a video that is shorter than that, you will get a message to redo it. So this is important. Practice. You can practice before you record. And once you do record, check the recording to see that it's the correct duration and that there aren't any other mistakes, such as some noise in the background or somebody, I don't know, maybe your dog went by or any other thing that you might have missed when you were recording. Go ahead and watch it again just to make sure that everything is okay. And as Molly said, it's a great opportunity to brand yourself and enjoy the process. This is what students are looking for, to get a sense of your personality when they watch your video. Also, to hear your voice and your accent to make sure that they can understand you. Like Molly said, also, a lot of people are looking to move to certain places, let's say Australia, for example. So they want to get more familiar with the Australian accent. So they will look first in the search bar, Australia, right? And get some Australian tutor suggestions. Go to their videos and listen, and they will choose the one that they can understand best. So take the time to speak clearly and showcase everything that's great about you, your accent, your personality, your experience. Take care of the duration and just hit submit.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something as well. When you are doing this, make sure that no one else is in the frame with you. You don't have anyone joining you. Don't use pre-recorded videos or examples of you maybe teaching or giving a lesson, anything like that. It should just be you and the camera and you pretending like you're talking to your potential students, right? Being yourself. If you are having trouble, so you have the option to upload a video or just record it live. If you're having issues uploading a video that you recorded on your computer, I suggest just recording it live right here. If you don't like it, you can delete it and re-record it until you do get one that you're comfortable with or you're satisfied with. And then after you finish that, there's also an example if you are just struggling with what to say or what the expectations are. So you can click this link right here, see intro video example, and it will give you a good example of one. And then once you have that finished, this button that says submit profile to Cambly will turn yellow and you will click it. And once you click that, your profile has been submitted and will be under review. So make sure that you're satisfied with everything. Make sure you, like Alejandra said, make sure you watch your video back again. Everything looks good before you click that submit profile to Cambly, because once you click it, it's submitted.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So that is the three-step process of filling out your profile, of signing up and submitting your profile to Cambly. So I think now what we're going to do before we wrap up is take a few questions from the audience. If there are any questions from the audience, so if you have any questions now, now's the time to put them in the chat. If there's something we haven't covered and you still have questions about, we will take those.
Okay, so the requirements. So again, students are looking for native English speakers from any of the English-speaking countries around the world. Must be over 18 or over, and have a good internet connection. So students care about this as well, because they are told, of course, that in order to use the platform, their internet connection must be stable. Same goes for the tutors, so they can get frustrated, right, if the tutor has an unstable internet connection. So really take care of that. You want to take care of the second one?
Yeah, so the second one, how long will it take for people to hear back? Great question. It depends. So there is no set, time. You will hear back within 1 month. So it really depends. It's supply and demand, and it could take anywhere from a day. I think Alejandra heard back in a day. For me, it took a few weeks. For others, it may take a few months. So it really depends. It could be anywhere from the day you submit your profile to, months after. I will say one thing you can do is to keep logging in. When you are logging in, it's showing that you're engaged with, on your profile, and showing the reviewing or onboarding team that you're still interested. So even if you haven't heard back, keep logging into your profile, tweaking changes. If you've gotten a TEFL certificate in the time since you've submitted your profile, you can go back and edit that. And I think that kind of brings us to the third question. So I'll let you take that one.
Okay, so it says, can I change my profile after I submit my profile? Yes, you can. You can go on your profile anytime and make any changes that you feel are necessary, including, well, if necessary, you can change your picture, you can resubmit your video, or add or take away anything that you feel no longer represents you as a tutor. So of course, you can do that anytime. And we encourage it, to keep your profile up to date.
Yeah. The next question, what to put into the experience box if you haven't taught before? So yeah, of course, it's not a requirement to have any experience in education or to be a teacher or have a teaching certificate. If you do have that, great, put that. Any other relevant experience. So if you have ever traveled abroad, if you've ever worked with groups of tutoring, if you've ever just had some sort of role where you're having to socialize and be friendly or help someone in any way, any relevant experience you have, you can put there. It doesn't have to be teaching experience per se. It can be any relevant experience that would make you a great tutor on Cambly.
Something that would help you deal with people in a good way. Like, for example, coming from a big family, it can be as simple as that. I have a lot of brothers and sisters, and I've babysat, or I help my mom with this and that. Anything where you were dealing with people, helping them with anything, is relevant experience. Mm-hmm. Are lesson plans given? Yes, Cambly offers lesson plans for those who are interested in structured lessons. You are not required to take those lessons. So students have the choice of keeping it conversational and casual, or choosing these structured lessons. They're available and they're already set up. You just have to follow them. So you don't have to worry about planning them ahead of time.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Yeah, very.
Okay, the next one. What is the minimum hour I need to do? So there is no minimum. So I know with some other online platforms, you have to be working, a certain number of hours a week. And if you want to take a break, you need to let them know. There's a strict contract. But with Cambly, that's one of the best things. It's completely flexible. So there's no minimum number of hours you need to work if you decide to start and you're tutoring for, a few hours a week, and then maybe you get a new job and you need to take a 1 month break. You can do that. You have the freedom and flexibility to do that. You don't need to tell anyone. Maybe if you have regular students, it's good to let them know, hey, I'll be taking a break for the next month. But there's no minimum number of hours you need to work. So it's flexible. It's 24/7. So I think we mentioned this earlier, but because you are working with students around the world, they're in all different time zones. So if you get on at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're still going to find students who are on Cambly, wanting lessons with tutors. So any time of day.
Exactly. Next question. Do you have more than one student at a time? No, we don't. It's one-on-one, just one student and the tutor.
Yeah, one-to-one. Is Cambly Kids also hiring? Yes, it is. So when you do fill out your profile, if you're interested in Cambly Kids, go ahead and submit that as well. They're also hiring right now.
Yeah. What is it like to tutor kids versus adults? Okay, so adults, of course, they're in charge. They know what they want. They can tell you clearly what their goals are, and you can work with that. Kids, you deal with the kids and with their parents. The parents are the ones who are going to follow the kids' progress. When you tutor in Cambly Kids, the lessons are always structured. There isn't an option to keep it conversational. So that's the biggest difference between the two. And if you don't have experience teaching kids and you're not sure, occasionally on Cambly Classic, you will get a child here and there that has not subscribed to Cambly Kids. So probably you're going to have an opportunity to experience teaching a child, and then you can decide whether or not it's for you. But they keep it pretty simple on Cambly Kids because the lessons are structured and the communication is with the parents. So it's a little bit different, but you will have an opportunity to see how you feel teaching a child when you get one on Cambly Classic.
And I just wanted to mention really quickly, so if you go ahead and submit your profile now and you didn't choose that you wanted to work with Cambly Kids, and you decide, let's say you're activated to tutor on Cambly, and in 2 months you decide, you know what, I want to try out Cambly Kids, you can still go back and submit your profile to work with Cambly Kids. So if you do submit it now, just classic Cambly without Cambly Kids, you're activated and you decide in the future you want to work with Cambly Kids, you can go back and submit that profile. So don't worry if you don't put it now.
Okay, great. So again, just to wrap up, Cambly students are looking for native English speakers. It doesn't matter which citizenship the tutor has. It doesn't matter whether or not you have experience. We do not require any certificates, any teaching certificates, bachelor's degrees, or any other sort of certification. If there are any other questions that might come up, you can visit the frequently asked questions area and hopefully get any doubts out of your mind so you can go ahead and begin as soon as possible.
Yeah, and that Help Center, you can find the FAQ for prospective tutors, I believe is what it's under. There's a section in Cambly's Help Center. So it goes over kind of the same thing that we went over today, tips on filling out your profile if you're having any technical issues, anything like that. So if you do have any questions that we didn't cover today, check out that FAQ center, the FAQ section in the Help Center.
All right, great.
Yeah, I think that's all we have time for today. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. Please remember, if you joined in late today or if you missed something or need clarification, this live video is actually recorded and it's going to be uploaded on Cambly's YouTube channel. So you can go back and watch it later if you need to.
Great. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. It was great. We wish you the best of luck and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much. Good luck.